Chapter 1. The Chase Through Neon Ruins. The air on Xerxes 9 was thick with the stench of burning ozone and rusted metal. Kaela Vexx, the most feared bounty hunter in the Outer Rim, sprinted across the skeletal remains of a collapsed skybridge, her boots kicking up sparks as she landed on the next rooftop. Behind her, the distant hum of pursuit drones grew louder. She didn't need to look back to know they were closing in. Her mark, a rogue scientist named Dr. Elias Rook, had slipped through her fingers twice already. This time she wouldn't let him escape. The bounty on his head was worth more than a year's worth of contracts, and Kaela never left credits on the table. But as she rounded the corner of a derelict data tower, a figure stepped into her path. Tall, clad in black armor that seemed to drink in the neon glow of the city. He stood motionless. His face was hidden behind a mirrored visor, but she could feel his gaze like a blade against her throat. Kaela skidded to a halt, her fingers twitching toward the plasma pistol at her hip. "Move," she snarled. The stranger didn't flinch. Instead, he tilted his head slightly, as if studying her. Kaela's patience snapped. She drew her weapon in a flash, leveling it at his chest. "Last warning." A low, distorted chuckle escaped his helmet. "You're Kaela Vexx, the Huntress of Xerxes." His voice was deep, mechanized. "I've heard stories." She bared her teeth. "Then you've heard what happens to people who get in my way." His hand moved, faster than she expected, and before she could pull the trigger, he was in her space, his grip locking around her wrist. Pain shot up her arm as he twisted, forcing her to drop the pistol. Kaela hissed, "You won't handle me." But fear burned behind her gaze. No one had ever disarmed her that fast. Chapter 2. The hunter becomes the hunted. The stranger didn't kill her. That was the first surprise. Instead, he released her wrist and stepped back, retrieving her fallen pistol before tossing it to the ground at her feet. "You're after Rook," he said. "So am I." Kaela flexed her fingers, eyeing him warily. "Then you're competition. And I don't share bounties." "Neither do I." His visor flickered with data streams. "But Rook isn't just some scientist. He's working on something dangerous. Something that could wipe out entire systems." She scoffed. "Not my problem. I get paid to bring him in, not play hero." The drones were getting closer. The stranger turned his head slightly, as if listening. Then, without another word, he grabbed her arm and yanked her into the shadows just as 3 sleek, black drones zipped past, their scanners sweeping the area. Kaela held her breath. When the drones were gone, she jerked free. "What the hell is your game?" "No game," he said. "Just a choice. Work with me and we both get what we want. Or keep running alone, and see how far you get before Rook's new friends catch you." She hesitated. Then, from the distance, an explosion rocked the city, a brilliant fireball erupting near the spaceport. "Rook's work." Kaela cursed under her breath. "Fine. But I'm not trusting you." The stranger nodded. "Smart." Chapter 3. The Truth in the Ashes. Their uneasy alliance led them through the underbelly of Xerxes 9, into the ruins of an old research facility where Rook had last been seen. The place was a maze of broken machinery and flickering holograms, the air thick with the scent of scorched metal. Kaela moved like a ghost, her senses sharp. The stranger, who still hadn't given her a name, followed silently, his presence unnervingly steady. They found Rook in a sealed chamber, surrounded by screens displaying equations that made Kaela's head hurt. He was a thin man with wild eyes, his fingers dancing over a console as he muttered to himself. "You're too late," Rook said without turning. "It's already begun." Kaela raised her pistol. Not for you, it hasn't. Rook laughed, a broken sound. You think I'm the one you should be pointing that at? Before she could react, the stranger moved, but not toward Rook. Instead, he grabbed her arm again, shoving her behind him as the walls of the chamber suddenly lit up with targeting lasers. A voice boomed from hidden speakers. Unauthorized intruders detected. Elimination protocol initiated. Kaela's blood ran cold. Rook smirked. Meet my real employer. The chamber doors slammed shut, locking them in as robotic sentinels unfolded from the walls. Chapter 4. The fight for survival. Kaela had faced death before, but this was different. The sentinels were fast, their weapons cutting through the air with deadly precision. She ducked behind a console, firing off shots that barely slowed them down. The stranger fought like a machine himself, flawless, relentless. He tore through two sentinels with a blade she hadn't even seen him draw, his movements a blur. Rook's trying to activate a weapon, he shouted over the chaos. We need to stop him. Kaela gritted her teeth. No kidding. She lunged from cover, rolling to avoid a laser blast before firing straight into a sentinel's core. It exploded, sending shrapnel flying. Rook was still at the console, his fingers flying. The screens now showed a countdown. 00:00:30. 39. 38. Kaela sprinted toward him, but a sentinel blocked her path. She barely dodged its strike, only for the stranger to intercept, driving his blade through its chest. Go, he barked. She didn't need telling twice. Kaela vaulted over the wreckage, landing in front of Rook. He turned, eyes wide, but she didn't give him time to speak. Her fist connected with his jaw, knocking him out cold. The countdown froze at 5 seconds. Silence. The stranger deactivated the lockdown, the chamber doors sliding open. Kaela exhaled, her body trembling with adrenaline. He walked over, looking down at Rook's unconscious form. Good work. She wiped blood from her lip. We're even now. But I'm still taking him in for the bounty. The stranger was quiet for a moment. Then, to her shock, he stepped aside. Fair enough. She narrowed her eyes. Just like that. He tilted his head. You earned it. Kaela didn't trust it. But she wasn't about to argue. She hauled Rook over her shoulder, casting one last glance at the stranger. Who are you really? For the first time, he reached up and removed his helmet. Her breath caught. His face was scarred, his eyes a piercing, unnatural blue. Someone who's been hunting Rook longer than you have, he said. And someone who'll be watching you, Kaela Vexx. Then, before she could respond, he turned and walked away, vanishing into the shadows. Kaela stood there, Rook's weight heavy on her shoulders. For the first time in years, she wasn't sure if she just won, or made a terrible mistake. But one thing was certain,